What is going on, people? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to share some harsh truths with you because normally I'm quite happy-go-lucky on this channel, but I think, for those of you interested in breaking into the world of high finance, that's investment banking, asset management, private equity, venture capital, hedge funds, so on and so forth, it's important that you're aware with the reality of breaking in and climbing in these industries. Because a lot of people think, all right, I want to earn lots of money, I want to make lots of money, so I'm going to go into high finance. And it's not easy to break in, and they think, all right, you break in and you make lots of money. But the truth is, most of the money is made at the top, and to get to the top of these industries is far from easy. And so today I'm going to tell you how hard it is to get to the top, and if it's something that you actually want to do, because not many people want to do it. So if that sounds interesting to you, stick around and let's get straight into today's video. All right, first things first, the reason why you're not going to make it to MD or managing director in these industries is because you care too much about work-life balance. Now, that might sound harsh, that might sound a bit backward, but the truth is, 5, 10, 15 years ago, work-life balance wasn't a focus for most companies. It wasn't a focus for individuals, really. Mental health, physical health, work-life balance, all of that kind of took a backseat and wasn't as spoken about as it is today. And so when there's a priority or a focus on, working a few days from the office, working a few days from home, it just changes the dynamic of work compared to what it used to be back in the day. It's very rare for someone to make it in these industries to the top by having a solid work-life balance. Most of the interviews that you see, most of the people that are at the top that say they've got great work-life balance now, it's highly unlikely they had work-life balance getting from analyst to associate to VP, director, MD, right? So don't be fooled. They will tell you, oh, I'm a managing director at XYZ investment bank, and I clock in at 9, I leave at 5. But the truth is, they take a lot of work home with them. They don't just clock out at 5 or 6 p.m. They go home, they're on their phones, they're checking their emails. Before they sleep, they check their emails. First thing they do when they wake up, they check their emails. If you're working on a live deal, or if you're managing a portfolio for a client that's worth hundreds of millions of pounds, dollars, it's gonna be at the forefront of your mind, regardless of whether you're in the office or not. And also, the more senior you get, the more pressure and stress comes with the role. And most people don't want that stress. They don't need to, they want to leave work at work. They want to go home and enjoy their personal lives. They don't want to be at home thinking about work. And so the very few individuals in the industry that make it to the top, that make it to managing director or partner level, it's so hot in here. It's like 30 degrees outside. So the house is hot and I can't have the fan on because it will disturb the mic. That's why I'm a bit sweaty. And so most of the people that make it to MD, they are willing to sacrifice the work-life balance, the leaving work at work and not bringing it home in order to get to the top, in order to make more money. And there's a few reasons why they can do that, and we'll touch on that in a bit. Most people prefer actually not to make it to MD because they don't want to deal with that stress. They don't want to deal with the added pressure, the added responsibility that comes with the role. The decision-making responsibility increases. You're required to manage probably a larger team or have more responsibility and contribution as part of the division or the firm, the team within the firm that you're managing. And most people just don't want to deal with that. They are happy to be at VP, so you go from analyst to associate to vice president or director level, and there you're making a couple $100,000 a year, and they don't really care about making managing director because they believe the trade-off to get to that level and earn a bit more money versus the sacrifice in your personal life. If you've got kids, if you've got a growing family, if you want to just go home and spend time with your partner, if you've got hobbies outside of work, whatever it is, they don't want to sacrifice all of that just to become an MD. I'm not saying you can't be an MD and have all of that, but it does come at a cost. Yep. Before we carry on, a few words on today's video sponsor, Skillshare. When I joined Skillshare, it was to do one thing. It was to help me develop and grow what this YouTube channel has to offer. As a result, I learned personal branding, editing and marketing skills, as well as many others on the platform. I also dabbled in some design and software engineering skills, but for the most part, I focused on video editing. One class in particular that stood out to me was Ali Abdal's Final Cut Pro video editing class. Since completing the class, I've used tons of the learnings to continuously improve the videos like the one that you're watching right now. Skillshare honestly has tons of different classes across a range of different topics, ranging from time management and productivity to marketing, design, side hustles, and earning a passive income, to name a few. Best of all, you can explore the Skillshare class library completely free for 1 month using the link in the video description below. So the first 1,000 individuals to hit the link in the video description below will get a 1 month free trial to Skillshare. So go check it out. Now let's get back to the video. You have to remember, working in high finance isn't a walk in the park. It's not like, you know, a simple 9-to-5 job where you clock in, clock out, and the work is pretty straightforward. It's actually quite complex, it's quite tricky, and it requires a lot of different skills, whether that's negotiation skills, technical skills in terms of finance and modeling or Excel, whatever it is. There's the technical side of it, there's the people side of it, so pitching, sales skills, negotiating skills. There's the technical knowledge side, so knowing what's going on in the financial markets, becoming an expert in your specific area. Are you an investor? Are you a salesperson? Are you a portfolio manager? Whatever it is, there's so many things going on and there's so much you need to know. And so it's not like simple 9-to-5 where you're earning 25-30k a year. And for that reason, they're going to pay you hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year, because it's a very technical, demanding, highly complex role, and so that's why they pay you a lot. If it was easier, you would get paid less, or it would be easier to break in. And for those reasons, it's tough to break in. Let alone, it's not just tough to break in, it's tough to break in and climb to the top, right? And so yeah, it goes back to my point. Most people are happy to get to VP, not bother going to MD, enjoy a comfortable life, comfortable paycheck, and not worry about knocking the lights out and going to the top. However, there are a few people who really do make it look easy to get to managing director, and there are people who make it look tough but get there in the end. And these individuals have one trait in common: they truly enjoy and are passionate about the work that they do. There's no way in hell that you're going to get into this industry, find the work extremely boring, mundane, and hate it, and climb to the top, because it's just not going to work. You're going to get bored, you're going to leave early, you're going to move on to different opportunities. Well, naturally, people will see through you and realize that you're not the right material to make it to managing director. And so the people that do make it to the top, they tend to have a thirst for knowledge, a thirst for finance, and really enjoy the work that they do. They kind of like, it's the type of people, let's say if you're at uni, you go to uni 5 days a week, and then on weekends, what are you reading? Those individuals that are reading finance stuff on the weekends, they're investing, they're doing trading, they're doing all of this stuff because they thrive on it and they really enjoy it. Those are the people that tend to get far in the industry, because they actually have a thirst for this industry and they enjoy it properly. Whereas most other people are just there, they enjoy it, it's all right, but they see it as a job. They don't see it as their life's calling, and they don't like see it as, oh, it's my life's goal to become an MD at this firm and then contribute and play a big role within this organization, for example. It is hot, oh my days. All right, next thing. I've got a list of things I want to touch on, so let's go through those. The work, look, if you want to get to MD, you need to accept the fact that the work is going to be all consuming. You're going to be working pre-hours, post-work hours. It's going to come with you home. We've mentioned that it's not a 9-to-5. We've touched on that. You actually need to enjoy it and love it. We've touched on that. Also, very important, you need to know how to play the game. There are so many people who are extremely good at their job, extremely bright, you know, not backstabbing. They're good humans, and they just don't make it to the top, because in the world of high finance, you need to know how to play the game. People that climb to the top, people that get promoted, there's a lot of internal politics. You need to know the right people. You need to be cool and blessed with the right people. You need to have good relationships, because at the end of the day, it's not just your manager that says, okay, you're going to get a promotion. It's especially when you get to MD level or VP level, it's a group of people, lots of people that you've spent time with, working with. They're going to give a reference and they're going to say, all right, we think this person is ready to go to the next level. So it's a decision with stakeholders in your career from different parts of the firm, different levels of seniority. And if you don't have good relationships, if you're a prick to people, if you're rude to people, if you don't get on with people, no one's going to back you. And even if you're good at your job, it's highly unlikely that you get promoted to the top. And so playing the game, knowing who to be nice with. Some people aren't as good as other people at the job, but they make it to the top because they know how to butter up other people. They're good with their talking skills. They're good with building relationships. They know who to kind of stay close to, who to work with. They know who the key decision makers are, and they kind of stay close to them with the thought of benefiting their own careers. So they have, ulterior motives. As negative as that might sound, it's very common in the industry. You got to play the game if you want to get to the top. That's just the way it is. Another reason why you got to play the game is because let's say there's one opening, or let's say there's 5 positions to get to managing director, but there's 50 of you competing for those 5 spots. End of the day, it's not just going to come down to performance. It's going to come down to performance, your contribution within the firm, your references from senior professionals at the firm, existing managing directors, existing partners, so on and so forth. So it's a very competitive landscape. And when competition is high, you need to find every small competitive advantage to help you versus the rest of the candidates that are up for a position that you're going for. So that's why playing the game is vital. Next, you need to know how to play the game. We said that. Even at the top, there's competition. Yeah, just as mentioned, there's always competition from the bottom right to the top. And that's how they distinguish who gets promoted. The top quartile performers at each rank typically are the ones that get the opportunity to progress. If you're at your peer group level, whether it's analyst, associate, VP, MD to make partner, whatever, if you're ranked among your peers and you're a bottom quartile performer, you're not going to get promoted. Mid quartile, or quartile 2 and 3, you might not get promoted. Let's say some firms might only promote the top quartile performers. So you need to not only be doing well at your job, you need to be the best at your job. And that's tough in itself when everyone else around you is already exceptional. All right, so my advice to you would be 2 things. One is to ask yourself, what do you want from your career? Is it imperative for you in terms of, always remember, career and life. Life is bigger than just a career, right? What do you want from your life? Do you want to go into the world of work, climb to the top? And how important is that for you? Why is that important? The why is very important. Why is it important? Is it because you want to earn lots of money? But do you need to get to the top to earn lots of money? You can earn lots of money being in the middle, being below the top. It's all relative. How much is a lot of money to you? And why do you want that much money? Typically, most people go into finance, or students go into finance because they see it as a high-paying career. But then how much money do you want to earn over your lifetime? Why do you want to earn that money? Do you want to buy a big house? Whatever it is. And then ask yourself, is becoming an MD in line with that goal? Or will I be able to do it as a VP? Or will I be able to do it in a different industry where there's a better work-life balance, and I can spend more time with a family that I might have or grow in a few years' time? All these things, think of them. So why do you want to get into the industry, and do you want to actually become an MD? Ask yourself that. And the second piece of advice, I am sweating so much. The second piece of advice I would say is, if you're in the industry already, whether you're an analyst, associate, VP, whatever, just look around, look at the senior professionals in your organization and ask yourself, do I want to be like these individuals? Because if I stay here, that's the track that I'm heading towards. And if you get a good vibe from the MDs at the firm, then stay there. Like, great. If you don't, also book catch-ups with them, talk to them, ask them, like, if you have a good relationship with anyone that's in a senior position, be honest and down to earth with them. Just ask them, like, what are the pros and cons of your career? Do you wish you did anything differently? If you went back in time, would you change anything? All these types of things, because a lot of people get there and they realize, there's a good saying, it goes, people climb a ladder, they get to the top, and then they realize they're on the wrong ladder. You don't want to be that person. And so look around, ask yourself, does anyone in a senior position here inspire me to be like them in 5 or 10 years? If the answer is yes, great, you're in the right place. If the answer is no, you need to dig deeper and kind of do some soul searching, career searching, and identify the different options that are open to you, and then make your move or plant your seeds. Always keep informed with what's going on in the industry, what roles and opportunities are open for you, and stay on LinkedIn, let recruiters reach out to you, because one, you might be missing out on higher paychecks. Typically, other companies are always looking for professionals in your position, and they're typically willing to pay higher. If you stay at one company for a very long time, you might be missing out on the market rate of pay right now. And obviously, pay isn't the only reason you should move. If you enjoy it and you have a good situation in your current company, given your role, pay, work-life balance, all of that, you should stay there. But it's always good to be kept in the loop of what's going on outside of your firm, because you might miss out on great career opportunities, great organizations that provide a more enjoyable working experience as opposed to the one you're at right now. But going back to why you won't become an MD. You can become an MD if you really want to, but you have to understand it comes with a lot of sacrifice, and that sacrifice isn't the norm for the average person. And so you need to choose, do you want a good work-life balance? Do you want to be an MD? Do you want to be a VP? Or do you want to do something completely different? And I would say the sooner you realize this in your career, the better, because it allows you to think with more clarity, think longer term, and puts your career into perspective of your broader life, because life consists of many things, and your employer is not going to remember you after you leave or die. It's those who are closest to you who you probably care most about. So keep that in mind. And with that, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video. Next video is probably going to be a roles video. So I'll do an overview of a role in the industry, reach out to someone in that position, ask them for their 2 favorites and 2 least favorite parts of the role. And I'll probably do like a complimentary or a complimentary PDF guide for free for you to download attached with that video. If you want to check it out, make sure you subscribe, turn on the bell so you get notified when it's posted, and I'll see you in the next video. With that, I need a shower, so peace.